This is a general overview of adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials. So this first page that you see here, which should be the top section of the sheet from your packet, is just adding. So we're looking at this first problem right here, 2x plus 5x. Now, if you remember what a like term is, we need something to have the same variable and the same exponent on that variable. So in this case, our variable is x to the first power. There's an invisible 1 there. And this also has an x to the first power. So these are like terms. We can put them together. To put them together, just add the coefficients. And your coefficients, coefficient are 2 and 5. 2 plus 5 is 7, and you keep that variable. So it's going to be 7x as your answer. Now, what if it was 2x squared plus 5x squared? Well, first, again, you have to double check. Are they still like terms? Well, I see x to the second power, x to the second power. Same variable, x, same exponent on that variable to the second power. So I can put them together same exact way. Add those coefficients, still 2 and 5. So we're still going to have a 7, but now it's x squared that gets put attached to it. You had 2x squareds, you had 5x squareds. Altogether, there are 7x squareds. You do also have to keep in mind, we've been checking that they're like terms, even though there were just the 2, but it's because in situations like this third problem over here, 2x plus 3 minus 5x plus 8, not everything is a like term. So I'm going to look at 2x and think, what can I combine it with? It has an x to the first power. What else has an x to the first power? That's your minus 5x. So I'm just going to put those two together. 2x minus 5x. It's going to be negative 3x. Now, don't just assume that the other two are going to go together, because that's not always going to be the case. Here, it's a positive 3 and a positive 8, and conveniently enough, they're both constants. They're just numbers by themselves, so we can put them together. 3 plus 8 is a positive 11. We actually get to leave our answer like that because negative 3x can't be combined with 11, remember? Those are not like terms. If they were like terms, we could have combined them in the first step. Please remember to be pausing if you need more time to write something down or to go back and see it again. So now we're subtracting. I have the same problem twice on here because I'm going to show you how to do it 2 different ways. First, we have 2x plus 3 minus the quantity 5x plus 8. So let's distribute that negative here and just rewrite this problem. So this is actually 2x plus 3 minus 5x minus 8 as well. And then it just looks like what we did on the front. Okay, what goes together? Well, it was 2x and negative 5x, which is negative 3x. And then this varies only slightly because now it's 3 and a negative 8 that come together. So it's no longer 11, it's a minus 5. Negative 3x minus 5. Another way to do this, if you can line them up perfectly, is to write this vertically, right? Like when you used to do subtraction, let's say it was like 115 minus 72. You didn't learn how to subtract them this way. You would write the 72 underneath it and then worry about, 5 minus 2, the 11 minus 7, etc., etc. So we're going to do that same process here. You have the 2x plus 3. I'm going to rewrite it just so it's a little bit bigger. And I'm subtracting. 5x lines up with the 2x. 8 lines up with the 3. This only really gets tricky when they don't all line up perfectly, the two terms and two terms going together, because sometimes you'll have something that's tagged on extra, but in this case we can use it. So then same thing, now just work vertically. What is 2x minus 5x? Well, that's negative 3x. Convenient. And then 3 minus 8, negative 5. Same answer, two different ways. Now we have a couple different multiplication problems here that are all going to address, they kind of progress here. Start with just 2 times 5x. Remember that if you have a number right directly attached to parentheses, as you do here, that's just saying 2 times 5x. In this case, you're always going to multiply numbers together. Write your coefficients, multiply numbers. So 2 times 5 is 10. And then afterwards, you multiply any variables together. Multiply each variable. Well, in this case, it's just an x, so x gets tagged on. Now we're looking at this next one. This is distributive property. We saw a little bit of that when we distributed the negative on the previous page. We're doing 2x squared times both of these things in here, okay? 2x squared times the 5x and 2x squared times 1. Let's just worry about the 5x right now. First thing I said to do, multiply your numbers. What are our numbers? 2 and 5, still 10. Now what? Oh, well, we have to multiply the variables. I have x squared and an x to the first power. To do this, you have to think, well, how many x's are there? There's 2, and then there's one more. 2 plus 1 is 3. This is going to be x to the third. As a gentle reminder, right, x squared tells you that x got multiplied by itself twice. There were 2 x's here, x times x. Well, now we multiplied another x. So if I wanted to rewrite that, that's 3x is being multiplied by itself. Not crazy important to know. If you remember just to add them, fine. Now let's do that 2x squared times 1. I mean, if you remember anything times 1 is itself, just go ahead and write down here. But if we go through our steps again, just in case, we have to multiply our numbers. 2 times 1 is 2. And then we have to multiply each variable. Now we just have an x squared. So I'm going to tag on a little x squared there. So your full answer is 10x cubed plus 2x squared. And now remember, even though we can multiply everything together, don't start confusing adding and multiplying. Now we're not going to put those together and make that 12x to the 5th. There's an x cubed and an x squared. They cannot be combined. This last one is called double distribution, because if you notice, we have one thing we're going to have to distribute, and the second thing, double. You got to do this twice. So we just practice how to do one item times everything, right? So we could do 2x times the 5x, 2x times this -8, which is fine. Let's do that. 2x times 5x. We got 2 times 5, right? Because I'm multiplying my numbers, is 10. Then multiply your variables. X times x is x squared. There are 2 of them. All right, now 2x times -8. 2 times -8 is 16. Variables, you have an x. Okay. I've worried about multiplying 2x times everything. Now, let's multiply 3 by everything. 3 times 5x. 3 times 5 is 15. X. And now 3 times -8, -24. In this case, we do have something that can be combined, which the way I wrote it for spatial reasons just conveniently line those up for you. There's only the 10x squared, no other x squareds. Let's keep you. But we have a -16x and a 15x. Put those together, -16 plus 15. Well, that's -1. Keep the x. And then there are no other numbers by themselves, so -24 is still there.